Well, oil executives played the blame game on Capitol Hill this week, but are they any closer to containing this massive spill? We're getting word of a little progress, but still a long way to go. Texas Congressman Joe Barton is the ranking member on the House Energy and Commerce Committee. Back in 1982, he worked as a natural gas decontrol consultant for Atlantic Richfield Oil and Gas Company. He joins us now from Las Vegas. Congressman, thanks for your time today.
Glad to be with you.
Now, you have seen the Gulf firsthand. Can you tell us about what's going on?
Well, they have massive numbers of ships and equipment on the surface over where the rig was trying to collect the oil that has come to the surface. They're expending every effort possible to find a way to stop the flow into the Gulf on the ocean floor. And as you reported on this program several minutes ago, they've apparently been able to get an insertion tube into the main spill area and are being able to divert that to the surface where it can be collected. So they're finally beginning to make some progress.
Congressman, what do you make of the blame game? BP has said it's going to pony up and pay for all of the losses connected with this oil spill. The president says, you know, when the oil executives were on Capitol Hill trying to explain, he said there was so much finger pointing, it was what he called a ridiculous spectacle. What do you make of the blame game?
Well, I think it's to be expected when you have all the potential joint and several liability issues with an accident, an environmental accident of this type. No one company is going to want to come to the front and just take total responsibility. I do think that British Petroleum should be commended for saying they're going to pay for all the damages if they're legitimate. The liability cap under current law is about $75 million, and that's something that we're going to look at whether it needs to be increased. Number one, we need to get that oil stopped spilling. Number two, we need to make sure we don't stop drilling in the Gulf of Mexico. Number three, we need to take whatever actions legislatively and regulatorily to make sure that in the future we minimize the chances of this type of an accident happening again.
And Congressman, you mentioned the offshore drilling. This morning, Senator Chuck Schumer said that he's worried about what happens to energy policy now because part of the compromise that had been worked out involved allowing drilling, and now there's going to be great concern over that. What do you see happening moving forward with energy policy and the attempts to get some climate change legislation done?
Well, let me point out that this one well in the Gulf of Mexico, if it produces at what we think it could, which would be 50,000 barrels a day, is worth 10,000 oil wells producing onshore Texas, where the average production is 5 barrels a day. So whatever we do, in my opinion, we do not need to stop drilling for oil and natural gas in the deep Gulf. We do need to make sure that the technology is the best that it can be, that the procedures are the best that they can be, and that our federal and state regulators maintain vigilance to make sure that those technologies and procedures are used as they should be. But we should not stop drilling in the Outer Continental Shelf. It is the single biggest natural gas and oil resource, not natural gas resource, that we still have in the United States.
Well, we wish you all the best and all those who are working to protect the Texas coastline as this plays out. Congressman Joe Barton, thank you for your time.
Thank you.